Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Today's Clash of the Titans is a Tier 10 domination battle here on the Sleeping Giant map, starring Mr. J. Rex in the French Tier 10 battleship, the Republique. This was originally going to be called just France, except in French, so Les Français, or however the hell they pronounce it. Or would it have been La France? Because French is one of those languages where nouns have gender. It's not just the. There's a male and the... Oh, whatever. Anyway. It's a made-up ship. They can call it whatever they like. It wouldn't have been the first time a ship's name had been changed in order to avoid any propaganda material that would have resulted from it being sunk. One of the German battleships, battle cruisers in World War II, I can't remember which one. I think it might have been the Graf Spee, because they were the Deutschland class of, let's call them battleships. And usually the lead ship in the class has the name of the class. So the Iowa class battleships were all named after the lead ship of the class, HMS? No, USS Iowa. You get the idea. But that wasn't the case for the Deutschland class of German battleships, which just goes to show you how much confidence Hitler had in his navy. The idea being that, because it was going to be called the Deutschland or the Germany, and if you name a ship Germany and the Allies sink it, you can imagine the newspaper headlines, yeah, we sank Germany. So for that reason, he ordered the name of the ship changed, and it became known as the Graf Spee. In the end, we didn't sink it. We went one better, and we tricked them into sinking themselves. Which I suppose the headlines would have been worse. Germany sinks itself. The Graf Spee, of course, the captain ordered it scuttled shortly after the Battle of River Plate, after the ship had taken refuge in Montevideo in Uruguay in order to conduct repairs, because he mistakenly believed, thanks to some fantastic signals counter-information, that there was a massive Allied force waiting for him to venture out the River Plate estuary. So rather than sailing out to face a force that he believed had been reinforced by aircraft carriers and battle cruisers, he simply said, well, you can't sink us because we've sunk ourselves. Nah, we're not playing anymore. And I'm sure the Royal Navy force that actually was waiting for them to come out, which had been 3 cruisers the day before, but one of them, the heavy cruiser HMS Exeter, had been so comprehensively smacked by the Graf Spee in the preceding day's battle that it had to withdraw for repairs, leaving just the 2 light Leander-class cruisers, one of whom, HMS Ajax, had both of its rear turrets destroyed. They were, yeah, whatever, mate, you help yourself. We'll take it. Anyway, back to today's battle. So, Rex in the Republique, French Tier 10 battleship. It's unusual. It's actually quite different from the French battleships in the tech tree that precede it for a couple of reasons. First, while it does have those sort of uniquely French quad-barrel turret designs, unlike the battleships that precede it, they're not all located at the front. The Republic has one at the front, one at the rear, so it's a much more conventional turret layout. The other... Oh, hang on a minute. What is that Neptune doing? You know you're spotted, right? Yeah, he does know he's spotted because he's shooting at Rex. You know this is a battleship, and you're a light cruiser. It is, however, a light cruiser with a smokescreen. Unless it's that most rare and mythical of beasts, a radar Neptune. I guess we'll never know. It is apparently that extremely common dead Neptune. So there's the first blood award for Rex, although he only just managed to get it, as the enemy U-4501 seems to have all his birthdays and Christmas arrive at once, from what looks like a single torpedo detonation kill on the friendly Wisconsin, which isn't good. So anyway, I was talking about the differences between the Republique and the tech tree battleships that precede it, like the Alsace at Tier 9, the Richelieu at Tier 8, and I suppose you could say the Dunkerque, because yes, that is how you pronounce it. If you want it pronounced Dunkirk, then you shouldn't spell it Dunkerque, should you, France? Even though it's not a tech tree ship. That all have these quad turrets located right at the front of the ship. The Republique, of course, is different. And another way that the Republique is different is in the calibre of the guns mounted, because there aren't any tech tree French battleships prior to this that have anything bigger than 15-inch guns. And 15 inch is all right. I mean, they kind of make up for the slightly low caliber by virtue of having high velocity, increased penetration value on the shells, but still, you know, they're not 16-inch guns, are they? The kind of caliber that other nations' battleships start switching to, usually around about tier 9, but sometimes as early as tier 7. Oh, the enemy team have just scored another 2 kills. Oh, yeah, before we... Oh, Lord. Okay, well, it's safe for me to tell you this now. We're no longer in spoiler territory. Of the 2 teams in this battle, one of them is only going to have 3 team members that manage to score a kill. The other team is only going to have 3 team members that don't manage to score a kill. I wonder if you can tell which is which. Yeah, a quick look at the team lists. It shouldn't be too hard to work out. Anyway, back to the Republique and its uniquely French gun caliber. The Republique is armed with 8 431mm or 17-inch guns. And again, this is uniquely French, because most other battleships of most other nations at this kind of level either have 16 or 18-inch guns, but the French went with 17-inch guns. Why? Because they're French. This is something else that the French do, or rather don't do. The French have a long and proud tradition of doing things a certain way just because everybody else is doing them another way, or doing something just because everybody else has said, no, you can't do that. In fact, just about the only way you can get the French to do the same thing as everybody else is if they came up with the idea themselves in the first place, like the metric system. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, Rex's team, which have suffered 6 casualties and they've only just inflicted their 3rd kill on the enemy team, they were down to less than 100 points for a few seconds there, until the U-190 managed to pull back a kill on the enemy Venezia. And remember, I did say, of the 2 teams in this battle, the members of one, which you've probably figured out by now is the enemy team, only 3 members of that team were not going to get a kill. And the members of the other team, which by process of elimination means Rex's team, only 3 of those team members were going to get a kill. And the team have just lost their Kansas, and they're back down to 100 points. In fact, they were back down to 98 until the points coming in from this central cap circle ticked over. And if you take a quick look at Rex's team list, you can see that there are already 3 members of Rex's team, himself included, who have scored a kill, which means these are the only 3 members of Rex's team who are going to get any kills, and one of them is already dead, so he isn't getting any more. Hello, Yoshino. What are you doing? Are you backing out to get your torpedoes away? I fear you are about to regret that hasty decision. Rex aiming slightly ahead there as he sees the Yoshino moving forward to avoid the Shimakaze torpedoes. The team have just gone down another kill, but Rex has just earned his 2nd. Double Citadel on the Yoshino. France isn't the only nation that likes to do things a certain difficult and awkward way, though, although they're probably the most famous for it. America does it too, although they do it in a uniquely American sort of way. Rather than doing what the French do and just being awkward for the sake of it, America will insist, and there's now only 3 of them left alive, that U-4501 has just scored his 2nd detonation, this time against an Ibuki. He's having a good game. Now, America will insist that everybody does things their way, such as post-World War II. Britain and Germany in particular were getting quite excited about the possibilities offered by the new intermediate rifle cartridges, such as the 7.62 by 54mm that was being adopted by the Russians for use with the AK-47. And they were coming up with some fairly innovative 223 caliber rifle cartridge designs for new rifles. And America said, no, put their foot down. Oh, kill number 3. Well done. There goes the Schlieffen. So anyway, yeah, America said, no, god damn it. 30-06 was good enough for my pappy, and it's good enough for us. So we're sticking with full-power rifle cartridges. So Britain and Germany grumbled a bit, but, I mean, basically America was paying for NATO, so they get to call the shots. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Hello? Are you a broadside cruiser? Are these 17-inch shells? They are. It wasn't a kill, unfortunately. But I believe the follow-up shots might be. I think we're at the stage of the battle now where the enemy team, they're not so much fighting the 3 surviving members of Rex's team, they're fighting each other to see who can get the kills. And this is usually where you start racking up monster scores. There it is, another Citadel. Actually, another 2. And kill number 4. But anyway, yeah, America said, no, god damn it. we're sticking with full power rifle cartridges, so Britain and Germany sort of grumbled a bit, but then, yeah, okay, fair enough. So Britain adopted the Belgian FN FAL, which was a great rifle, and Germany adopted the G3. And then America said, right, so we're switching to the M16. It's got this new 5.56mm intermediate rifle cartridge. And the rest of NATO went, for God's sake, America. Okay, fine, whatever. Careful viewers of the scores will note, remember, only 3 members of Rex's team are going to score a kill, that the other 2 members of Rex's team that have scored kills are both dead. And there are still 6 enemy ships to be sunk. Yeah, there's the Confederate award for Rex. He's up to 154,000 damage with 2 surviving teammates, 1 cruiser and 1 destroyer, the Shimakaze. Oh, hello, Vermont. Now, honestly, I didn't expect the Vermont to survive this, but it does. And of course, Rex is now caught with a live Vermont that he's turning away from and giving broadside to. But this is fine, because it's a Vermont, and its guns have a 40-second reload. So it's very easy to beat the reload of a ship like the Vermont in order to execute a turn. Plus, there's clearly an enemy submarine around the corner there, and he didn't want to eat those torpedoes. Unfortunately, the friendly Shimakaze is in deep trouble, because the enemy vampire has him spotted. And the Shimakaze is great at a lot of things, but winning gunfights is not one of them. The Shimakaze's gone down. There's just Rex and a surviving cruiser. There's just Rex. The Worcester has now also gone down as well, taken out by the enemy Rochester. It's now Rex, who's already on 4 kills, alone against 6 enemies. Those of you who have a rudimentary grasp of basic mathematics have probably figured out that in order for Rex to win this, he's going to need to score 10 kills. Well, there's 1. 5 down, 5 to go. So, are we... I mean, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody... I've seen matches where people single-handedly destroy the entire enemy team, but those are usually ranked battles or arms races, or the kind of battle where there are only 5 or 6 players on each team to begin with. Never a full-size 12-ship per-side battle like this. I have never seen anybody get 10 kills before. Well, based on the fact that this is not an episode of A Game of Thrones, you've probably already figured out Rex isn't going to be getting 10 kills. This just ain't that kind of battle. I mean, also, you know, he's 600 points behind and the enemy team have all 3 of the cap circles. So, yeah, he's not going to be winning it on points either, which is a shame. Switching back to the high explosive there to take on the bow-in Rochester. And he's actually managed to go undetected here. It's amazing how you can hide a ship this size behind an island like that. But hey, well, he's not hidden anymore. They both respotted each other. He's got a pretty fast reload on these 17-inch guns as well. I think it's down to slightly less than 20 seconds, which is impressive given the calibre of the guns. Seems to be sticking with a high explosive against the Rochester at the moment, which is, I suppose, the safer of the 2 options. I mean, you can smash a Rochester from the front with large caliber armor piercing, but sometimes you get ricochets, and the high explosive is doing the job. Direct hit on the submarine, not a kill. Oh, yeah, he's in trouble now. I mean, this is just what happens when there's so few of you left against so many enemies. You cannot possibly angle against everybody, because no matter which way you turn, you're giving broadside to somebody. He's got the Rochester, it's kill number 6. Now he only needs to worry about all of the torpedo-armed enemies, like the vampire in front of him. Oh, and there's a submarine there as well, right on top of him. There's, of course, yeah. Oh, and the enemy battleship just appeared. 6 kills, and that, I'm afraid, is all he's getting. That was the best game Rex ever had in World of Warships. 6 kills, 208,000 damage. And that, with this team, wasn't enough for a win. I mean, it's easy to point the finger at the team and say, God damn it, this team was terrible. And, well, this team was terrible. Almost all of this team was terrible. Only 2 of the teammates managed to sink anything. But if you have a look at the team scores, the top 3 players on Rex's team, and surprisingly, he was number 1, but number 2 and number 3 all managed to score more than 1,000 base experience. And getting that on a defeat is, well, it's kind of tragic, but it's also pretty impressive. However, if you look at the enemy team, only 3 of whom didn't manage to get a kill. Every single one of them, beyond the top 3, managed to score at least double the experience score of their equivalent opponent on Rex's team. Well, not every one of them. The Neptune didn't, but, well, the Neptune knows what he did. And, 2,600 base experience for the U-4501. We can put that down to the 2 lucky detonations he got, one of which was on a full health Wisconsin. But it's not a bad score, but it's not spectacular. It's just that the entire enemy team, aside from the top 3, and, well, the Neptune down at the bottom, but, again, he knows what he did, all managed to get at least double the point score of their equivalent opponent on Rex's team, which means this was a fairly good enemy team. And Rex's team, unfortunately, wasn't. So the best game of World of Warships that Rex has ever had, 208,000 damage and 6 kills, ended up being a crushing landslide of a defeat because the rest of his team could only muster 2 kills between the 11 of them. But I suppose this, in a way, is appropriately uniquely French, isn't it? Because anybody else who managed to get 208,000 damage and 6 kills would probably have won. But, well, the French just like to do things differently, so maybe pick an American battleship next time, Rex. Anyway, commiserations, and I hope you all enjoyed watching him suffer, because that's it for today. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.